a quick announcement before I talk about this movie. You might notice that I'm back in this old background. Well, because it wasn't really working with my other background, so I guess we're going to be back here. So, that said, let's get on to the review. Hey guys, it's Daniel here. Finally here to do another review of a movie that came out in 2020. As you know, I'm trying to get my reviews of 2020 movies done and basically trying to have a weekly schedule, so I'm going to try my best. But today I'm going to review The Invisible Man. So basically, The Invisible Man follows Cecilia Cass, who has escaped the clutches of her abusive boyfriend, Adrian, who has supposedly committed suicide, and now she is free. But unfortunately, there is an invisible entity lurking her, who she believes to be Adrian, who has somehow turned himself invisible, and so she's basically trying to survive the clutches of the Invisible Man before he gets her. Now, I'm not really that big of a fan of the Universal monsters, like the original monsters, mainly because I haven't seen them. Like, I haven't seen, like, any Frankenstein or Dracula or the Wolfman. I mean, I haven't really seen any of them, but they did kind of do, like a combination in the Hotel Transylvania films, and I did like them, but that was about it. I haven't really seen any of the Monster Universal original franchises, so never seen that, and The Invisible Man was included, so I haven't seen the original Invisible Man. But when I saw the trailer for this film, I got really interested and piqued to see the film. I mean, it had a bit of an original story of trying to survive an invisible man, and it's been directed by Leigh Whannell, and for those of you who don't know who that is, he was a co-director of the Saw films and the Insidious films, along with James Wan. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. But I haven't seen the Saw films, but I have seen the first two Insidious films, and I really enjoyed them. So hey, let's see what Leigh Whannell can bring to the table in this film. So I finally got to see the film today, and what do I think of it? Man, it is one of the best horror films ever made. It definitely lived up to the hype because this is one of the best movies of 2020. So what did I love about the film? Well, first off, the direction and the camera movement Leigh Whannell has provided. There are some shots in this film that made me so insecure about what's going to happen, because there are some parts where the camera has to stay still on a specific bit of the film, like if no one's in a room. Like there's a scene where Cecilia's making breakfast and she just leaves the room, and there's literally like 30 seconds of looking at the kitchen with the breakfast burning, and it kind of makes you think that the Invisible Man is in that room, but without doing anything. So I don't know if that was intentional or it was complete accidental, but I did find it to be the proper mood for the Invisible Man coming. With that, there are a lot of intense moments in the film and pretty good scares. I can't deny that the film does resort to a few jump scares now and again, but overall the story was bleak, it was pretty terrifying, and the Invisible Man is like so terrifying because we never see who it is. I mean, we all suggest that it's going to be Adrian, but we also second guess ourselves as the film goes on, because he is so unaware that we have no idea who he is, and my god, he is such an awesome villain. And basically the resolution for his character I thought was pretty, that was pretty much. And the acting is fantastic, especially Elisabeth Moss. I mean, she truly surprised me in this film. I don't know much about Elisabeth Moss, but her performance in this film is so stellar, because basically the character of Cecilia is supposed to be like an abused, controlled woman, controlled by everybody around her. And when she's seeing this Invisible Man, or, well, not really seeing because he's invisible, but when she feels the Invisible Man, she feels that her ex plus dead boyfriend is lurking her, and she is just out of her mind trying to prove that she's right and that she's not insane. I thought Elisabeth Moss did a fantastic job making Cecilia very relatable, fascinating, but also pretty crazy main protagonist. The score in the film was very serviceable to the plot and very engaging to listen to. I especially liked the score that they used when they showed how this man was invisible. It kind of has a bit of a retro, but also bubbly sound, like... I thought that was very engaging to listen to. And the last thing that I really enjoyed about this movie is its climax. I thought it was fantastic. It was very engaging, intense, pretty scary, and it does resolve very well, although I did kind of have a problem with the ending, and I'm going to get to that later, but the climax of the film and the third act was brilliant. Now, as much as I did really enjoy The Invisible Man, I do have some problems with it. The first one is kind of a issue that's not really with the film, well, it is, but it's a problem with the film that I felt like the trailer did. I think you might know what I'm talking about, is that there's a scene in the trailer, and it's also on the poster as well, where Cecilia is in the shower, and then the Invisible Man puts his handprint all over the shower window. That scene's not in the movie. I don't know whether or not it was in the theatrical cut or the extended cut. I don't know which cut I watched that I'm reviewing right now, but from what I can remember, I can't really remember a handprint on the window. From what I can remember of that scene in the shower is that she goes in the shower, she hears a call, gets out of the shower and takes the call, and then she sees some pills on the side that she believes that Adrian put on the side. That's really about it. So that scene's not really in the movie, and I felt like it could have been better. I mean, it's on the damn poster already, man. There are some insequential plot elements that I felt like were pretty unrealistic or just didn't really make that much sense. One particular is that there's a scene where the guy's daughter hit by the Invisible Man, and she believes that Cecilia hit her. But I was like, dude, woman, Cecilia was like way far away, and then the daughter was like that way, and it almost looked like she was being like hit on the back or the front. So how can you believe that Cecilia hit you? It gave a good idea of like who can you trust, who can you not trust, but that just didn't really make that much sense. And the last issue I have with this movie, and it's probably the biggest issue with the movie in my opinion, is how it ended. Now, as much as I do love the climax, the whole bit after the climax, I didn't really like. And I'm going to try to explain why without giving anything away. It seems like that the whole big reveal, or some sort of reveal, is going in this one direction, and I was like, wow, that was really shocking. I never expected that. I thought that would have been a great big reveal, and it would have been a great way to lead into a sequel. But then, like, for the next 10 minutes of the movie, it goes in a completely different direction. It throws a 180 on that twist, and they specifically went a different direction than I thought they weren't going to do. And I was like, oh man, I mean, that twist could have been a whole 180 of what the whole movie could have been about. But, man, you really had to throw 180 on that twist, and I don't know whether or not that was faithful to the original source material, or is that a totally different direction? I don't know, I haven't seen the original source material, but I've just felt like it could have been better if the ending, like the whole twist as to what's going on, or who the Invisible Man is, if they went in the direction that they went for at first, I felt like that would have been a great, like, conclusion to the film, but then for the next 10 minutes, pulls a 180 on that element, and it just made me feel like, man, you really had to bring in that cliche that I thought you weren't going to do. I mean, if you didn't bring in that cliche, it would have been great, but, man, you really need to do that. That's just my opinion. You might feel completely different, but for me, it didn't really let the film down that much. I just wish the ending could have been a little bit different, because it would have made the ending much more satisfying. Overall, besides those problems, I really had a blast watching The Invisible Man. It's one of the best movies ever made. I thought it was intense, it had engaging stories, the performances are great, and the climax is what's awesome. And I will give this film a 4.5 out of 5 stars. And if you haven't seen the film yet, and you're going to watch it, go get the Blu-ray or DVD. I haven't got the Blu-ray or DVD, I just watched it online. But if you haven't seen it already, go see it if you haven't seen it already. And is there any more Universal monsters that you want me to watch? Then leave it in the comment section below. Do you think of the film? Do you love it? Do you hate it and you didn't feel like it was that scary? Again, let me know in the comment section below. And again, I'm going to try my best to keep on a weekly schedule of what to review, what not to review. I am going to review more movies that came out this year, like I'm going to review Scoob, and I might review Birds of Prey, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But anyway, I'm Daniel, reviewing movies, TV shows, and doing videos, and I don't think there's ever going to be an invisible Ow! Do you think someone hit? Ow!